Mithandazo yethu Nkosi sikelela thina lusapho lwayo Morena buluka sitjhaba sa Jesu o fedise dintwa le matshwenye o sibuluke sitjhaba sa Jesu sitjhaba sa South Africa, South Africa. Edi blow van ons hemel, edi diepte van ons je, waar ons eeuwige gebertes van die grootste antwoord gee. Sounds the call to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa, our land. If we may please request the AU anthem.
Celebrate together the victories won for our liberation. Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together to defend our liberty and unity. All sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky. Let us make Africa a tree of life. Let us all unite and sing together to uphold the bonds that frame our destiny. Let us dedicate ourselves to fight together for lasting peace and justice on earth. All sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky. Let us make Africa the tree of life. Let us all unite and join together to give the best we have to Africa, the cradle of mankind and font of culture, our pride and hope and break of dawn. All sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky. Let us make Africa the tree of life.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We may be seated. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Portraits of Power exhibition. My name is Karabo Mohale, and I'm going to be facilitating today's proceedings. To the Minister in the Presidency, Minister Kumbudzo Nchabeni, the Minister in the Presidency responsible for women, youth, and persons with disabilities, Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga, Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps who have joined us today, ambassadors, high commissioners, and respective representatives of diplomatic mission in South Africa. Today, it gives us an immense pleasure on behalf of the Charlotte Manye Matleke Institute, in partnership with the presidency, to welcome you to this momentous occasion. Today is perhaps befitting, especially because we meet in South Africa in a month where we commemorate Women's Month, but also more profoundly at the seat where 20,000 women plus marched to defend their freedom, and that is the Union Building. This is a beautiful convergence, but it is not only beautiful, it is a call to action, it is a call to accountability, it is a call to demand that that which the women of 1956 marched for stands true and becomes etched, not only in our memory, but also in the institutions that we lead. The women that we're going to be celebrating here today, ladies and gentlemen, comes from all walks of life. But it shows that women across history have been forgotten. So today, we fight against the weakness of forgetting. We fight against epistemic erasure. We fight against women whose names have been written down in history. Women's names who have been written out in history. Women's names who have been underwritten in history. And today the fight is to indeed reclaim the power, reclaim the voices of women who have went ahead of us. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Union Buildings in South Africa. We're going to start today's proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, with the opening remarks and welcome from the Charlotte Manye Matleke Institute. The representative is Ms. Kimberly Nguku, who's going to be leading today and really just highlighting why we have gathered here today. If we can please put a round of applause for Ms. Kimberly.
Good morning, Program Director, Honorable Ministers, Your Excellencies, esteemed guests, colleagues, and of course, our students. I wrote a little love letter, for this program. So today we stand where 70 years ago, thousands of women stood with courage to demand justice, dignity, and equality. We celebrate these gentle giants. Me Lillian Goy, Me Helen Joseph, Me Rahima Musa, as well as our living gentle giant, Me Sophia William de Bruyn. Today, in the shadow of that legacy, we celebrate not only them, but the countless women across generations and across borders, whose courage has shaped nations, including where you are seated today. Let me start here. We only know as much as we were told about Charlotte Matleke because people made it their business to make sure that we would. W.E.B. Du Bois documented her all those years. Dr. Zubaydah wrote a book about her. Dr. Tozama wrote a thesis about her. So without them, we'd be standing here with nothing more than a corner page of page 42 in a high school history book, and maybe the wrong image of Charlotte Matleke. But they made sure that we know who she is, what her story is, and that's why we are standing here today. Because it shouldn't be hard to find the stories of our icons. For CMMI, the final straw came when we started gathering material for our documentary that had to do with the life of Charlotte Matleke. That's how we discovered Dr. Tozama. That's how we discovered all these stories of what an educated African child can do, So it wasn't easy. And also, of course, trying to find these images from Getty Images was also costed us an arm and a leg. So we're here today to make sure that all these stories of all these living icons and all the pioneers from all these different countries, their story is accessible and we can all find that education. So Charlotte McCleggy was an artist, she was an internationalist, and she was an educated woman. So bringing all of these elements together, we arrived at Portraits of Power. So, what if pairing students with diplomatic missions, and it all kind of worked out to also just tell the stories of women that are like Charlotte McCleggy in other countries also as well, you know? What if these stories were also made to be available? And Portraits of Power. It wasn't easy getting here. The first time we tried this, we knocked on every embassy doors. The first one we knocked at was the Dominican Republic, where Her Excellency Erica Alvarez took a chance on us with the Mirabal sisters. But that was 2025, and our footing was a little bit rocky. But what it did give us was confidence. It gave us confidence and it gave us a lesson. So we did continue and we knocked at more doors, and lucky us, those doors opened because the one thing that each and every ambassador saw in us was the same thing. Women's stories aren't told enough. So we are here to do that in a form of art, in a form of an easy way that people can relate to. Earlier this year, on International Women's Day in March at the State Theatre, our ambassadors met with their artists and the work began. It was shaky, but what I love is we did it together. Both the students and the ambassadors, they showed us how much trust and patience that they had with us. The support was overwhelming. We learned a lot from the students as well as from our ambassadors and the reps. For example, our students always kept us in check to make sure that everybody's interests were met. And the ambassadors were so patient with us because we're still trying to find our footing on, learning all these different women. Some embassies were even finished before we even said hello, so which was even better. With that, I learned so many beautiful stories. Let me not say we learned so many beautiful stories, not only the ones that are framed and hanging for you to see today, but ones that are sitting amongst us also as well. So for example, Charlotte McCleggy went across the ocean to a country that she did not know, and she achieved the unbelievable. Same with the women that are here also as well. Most of the embassies that we are working with are women-led. All these women left their home. They had courage and they came to South Africa to drive a mission, So we can learn a lot from everybody sitting in this room. So in closing, thank you to every diplomatic mission represented here today, every partner that trusted us. Thank you for taking a chance on us. Thank you to our students also as well. You stepped into something that never has been done before, and with every challenge, every adjustment, and every learning curve, you met us with patience, with grace and understanding. This exhibition belongs to all of us, and it belongs to you. To stand here today in this historic place, surrounded by people committing to preserving stories of extraordinary women, is both humbling and deeply moving. Thank you for everyone for being part of this movement. Thank you for believing in us and in believing in the vision. May these portraits remind us of the courage that many have faced, the leadership that has many voices, and the power of one woman that changed the course of history. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kimberly. If we can please give her a round of applause. A young woman who has chosen to be counted amongst those who say, I will not forget those that have went ahead of me. And we want to appreciate you because it's important for us to remember that every movement begins with somebody deciding that something must change. And this is the change that we want to see in society: intergenerational leadership, intergenerational integration. but also us asking the question amongst ourselves, who else are we forgetting? Because the women that we're going to be honoring today, the list is endless. If I may, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome Partners Reflection that is going to be delivered by the chairperson of the South African State Theatre Board, and that is Miss Lenore Hos Marchi. Let's please put our hands together for her. I hope I pronounced it correctly.
Good morning, Madam Program Director. 99.9% there. My name is Lenore Goss Mikey, and I am the chairperson of the South African State Theatre. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Africa, represented by the Presidency in absentia, our President, Honorable President Cyril Ramaphosa, Honorable Minister in the Presidency, Minister Chaveni, Honorable Minister of Women, Youth and Persons with Disability, Minister Chikunga, Dr. Nasipa Moya, Executive Mayor of the City of Tshwane, the leadership of the Charlotte Maxeke Institute, led by Chairperson Mr. Thulasizwe Makhanya, Your Excellencies, High Commissioners, Ambassadors, and Consuls representing the participating nations, distinguished representatives of diplomatic missions, members of Parliament, leaders of civil society, academia, business, and cultural institutions, artists, historians, curators, and members of the media. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is both an honor and a privilege for me, on behalf of the Council of the South African State Theatre, to convey our message of support for this remarkable Portraits of Power exhibition hosted by the Charlotte Maxeke Institute in partnership with the Presidency. As South Africa commemorates Women's Month, we gather not merely to remember history, but to celebrate the woman who shaped it, challenged it, and transformed it. Today, through portraiture, storytelling, and artistic interpretation, we reaffirm an important truth that history is not simply written in books. It is carried in the courage, sacrifice, and the vision of extraordinary women whose leadership continues to inspire generations. The South African State Theatre is particularly proud to stand alongside the Charlotte Maxeke Institute in advancing this important national conversation. Earlier this year, during the International Women's Day celebrations, our partnership demonstrated how the arts can become powerful instruments for preserving memory, amplifying women's voices, and promoting social cohesion. Today's exhibition represents a natural continuation of that shared commitment. The partnership between the South African State Theatre, the Charlotte Maxeke Institute, and the Presidency demonstrate what's possible when government, cultural institutions, and civil society unite around a common purpose, preserving our collective heritage while inspiring future generations. The Portraits of Power exhibition beautifully captures this vision. Through artistic excellence, historical reflection, and cultural diplomacy, this initiative reminds us that leadership knows no borders. Today, we proudly celebrate women whose influence transcended nations and generations. We honor Her Excellency, President Netembo Nandi Ndaitwah of Namibia, former President Dr. Mary Robinson of Ireland, Queen Marie of Romania, former President Mireya Moscoso of Panama, Professor Wangari Maathai of Kenya, Sabia Gochan of Turkey, Dr. Jacina Michel of Mozambique, Trismilla Rentari of Colombia, Deolinda Rodriguez of Angola, Emilija Platerite of Lithuania, and former President Dr. Joyce Hilda Banda of Malawi. Each of these remarkable women represents resilience, courage, innovation, and transformational leadership. Collectively, they remind us that women have consistently reshaped societies, defended justice, championed democracy, advanced science, protected the environment, inspired freedom movements, and expanded opportunities for generations that followed. To the 15 diplomatic missions participating in this exhibition, we thank you sincerely for strengthening international friendship through culture. Your participation confirms that the arts remain one of humanity's greatest diplomatic languages, capable of building bridges where politics cannot, and creating understanding where differences may exist. At the South African State Theatre, this belief forms the foundation of our institutional mandate. As one of Africa's premier performing arts institutions, our purpose extends beyond producing theatre. We exist to preserve heritage. We exist to nurture creativity. We exist to tell the stories of our people. We exist to provide platforms where every South African, where every African can see themselves reflected in our national narrative. Our strategic vision is anchored on several important objectives. We are committed to increasing access to quality performing arts for all South Africans. We continue investing in the development of emerging artists, playwrights, producers, and technical practitioners. We are expanding arts education through school productions and educational programs that cultivate future audiences. We are strengthening partnerships that promote social cohesion, nation building, and active citizenship. We continue positioning the South African State Theatre as a leading continental platform for African storytelling, international cultural exchange, and creative innovation. We are equally committed to sound governance, institutional stability, sustainability, and responsible stewardship of public resources, ensuring that every investment in the arts delivers measurable public value. These priorities align perfectly with today's exhibition. Portraits of Power reminds us that art is never merely decorative. Art educates. Art preserves memory. Art challenges injustice. Art heals. Art gives dignity to those whose contributions history may have overlooked. Art inspires hope. As we celebrate Women's Month under this powerful exhibition, we are reminded of the enduring legacy of Charlotte Maxeke, herself a woman whose life embodied education, whose life embodied courage, activism, a servant leadership. She understood that meaningful change begins when society chooses to recognize the humanity and potential of every individual. The woman celebrated today gained knowledge, influence, and opportunity, not for personal advancement alone, but so that they could give back to humanity. That is the lesson we must continue to impart to our young people. I wish to commend the Charlotte Maxeke Institute for once again demonstrating visionary leadership by bringing together government, diplomacy, academia, young people, and the creative sector in this meaningful celebration. I equally wish to acknowledge Presidency for its continued support in recognizing the art as an important pillar of nation-building, social cohesion, and democratic participation. To our partners within the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, the Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, the City of Tshwane, and every participating embassy. Thank you. Thank you for affirming that culture remains central to our shared humanity. As the South African State Theatre, we reaffirm our unwavering commitment to this strategic partnership. We look forward to expanding future collaborations with the Charlotte Maxeke Institute and the Presidency through exhibitions, performances, heritage programs, youth dialogues, international cultural exchanges, and creative initiatives that continue to celebrate women, preserve history, and inspire future generations. Together, we are ensuring that these stories do not remain confined to museums or textbooks, but we continue living through theater, music, dance, literature, visual arts, and the imagination of our people. Ladies and gentlemen, may every portrait displayed today remind us that behind and leading every great nation stand extraordinary women. May every young person who walks through this exhibition discover new possibilities. May every leader present recommitment to themselves to building societies where women lead freely, equally, and courageously. And may the arts continue to illuminate our path towards justice, equality, dignity, and shared prosperity. On behalf of the Council and management of the South African State Theatre, our CEO, Mr. Shane Maja, I congratulate the Charlotte Maxeke Institute, the Presidency, and all participating nations for presenting this exceptional Portraits of Power exhibition. May this partnership continue to grow from strength to strength. I thank you.
Thank you very much to the chairperson of the South African State Theatre. Thank you so much for reminding us that art educates, but also where differences divide us, art creates a language through which we can meet. We appreciate those inputs. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome on stage the Charlotte Maxeke Education Fund that will be represented by Ms. Zondi as well as Ms. Matane. Let's please put our hands together.
Program Director, Honorable Minister, Ambassadors, High Commissioner, distinguished guests, good morning. We are the Charlotte Maxeke Education Fund. My name is Konzi Zondi. I'm an attorney by profession. I'm a director and co-founder of Jane Zates Incorporated Attorneys. I am with Dr. Matane, who will also introduce herself. Ladies and gentlemen, it is such an honor and a privilege to stand before you this morning and to be at this exhibition of powerful women. There's a saying that we say in South Africa that says that, we stand on the shoulders of giants, and no truer words have been spoken this morning as we're going to view these powerful portraits of women who walked before us and showed us the way and paved the way for us. Last month, on the 20th of June, 2026, we had the privilege, myself and Dr. Zanele, along with the CMMI, which is our sister organization. We've been with the organization for many years, and we just recently, with a new kid on the block, launched this education fund wherein we wish to extend the legacy of Mam Charlotte Maxeke. As we look today, as we will be, taken through the exhibits downstairs, we will be looking at the women in history. But now the question is in a century to come, who will we be looking at? Of course, your mom Charlottes are important to us and they'll continue to inspire us, but there's a lot of potential within our communities and there are many young girls who need to be afforded opportunity. You know, just briefly, like myself and my co-founder, it is the opportunities that were given and way that were paved by other people that even allows me to address yourselves this morning. Without them, I would not even be here, not even in this room, standing here and addressing you. So we are really honored. We are privileged as a Education Trust Fund to, partner with yourselves for the future of young women in our country and everywhere else where opportunity is required, which is offered by our fund. Thank you.
Good morning. All protocol observed, and I'm so glad I don't have this responsibility like I had when we started in March, but thank you so much for inviting us to be here, for giving us your time. And as my colleague Konzi has mentioned, we are representing the Education Fund. And this year marks the 125 years of the graduation of Mama Charlotte Maxeke from university. And what my colleague has also mentioned is that she crossed the stage and she made history. And so we want to make sure that that history continues with this Education Fund. And this is quite an amazing moment for us because we know education is not just money. Education is network. Education is understanding other multiple disciplines and cultures and history. And so we stand here today to invite everybody who's here today, your excellencies, our esteemed colleagues, to please keep those doors open, as Kim mentioned, when they knocked and they asked to invite you to be part of this Portraits of Power. Please keep those doors open as we come in as well, because we want the students that we are going to fund to not only know about South Africa, but to know about the rest of the world, to know about diaspora, to know about those who brought us to where we are today. Because then we will avoid the mistakes that have happened, even now current history. We want to make sure that the women, and we know, women are different. You can, Maya Angelou once said, a man will work if we can give him a job. But with the women, they're always there. They're always finding connections. They're always finding ways to relate it to the greater community. And I imagine the wonderful opportunity that we'll have when we bring all these young girls and young women to work and network with all the different nationalities, to understand history, because it's so amazing how we are also connected with our history and the struggles that we face. It may have a different language, it may have a different name, but it's the same experience. So as the next weeks go by, we would really love to collaborate with the different embassies and the student exchange programs, with tourism programs, and all different multidiscipline activities that we'll really want to bring in the network that Charlotte Maxeke has created with regards to the Portraits of Power. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to the Charlotte Maxeke Education Fund. A month ago, something powerful happened. We always remember the words of Mam Charlotte Maxeke, who said, as you rise, bring someone along with you. The Charlotte Maxeke Institute is doing exactly that through this Education Fund. We remember that education is more than just a door where people enter. It is the power for you to be able to think, to take charge of your own destiny. And we want to congratulate the Charlotte Maxeke for launching this transformative fund. If I may request, ladies and gentlemen, that we gaze our eyes to the screens. We're going to be watching the video of My Story Does Not End Here.
I was born to John Hobemanya and on the I was born to John Hobemanya and Anne Manwe on the 7th of April, 1871, and grew up in Fort Beaufort in the Eastern Cape. My father hadn't gone to school but would encourage my siblings and I to better our lives. His shortfalls were the seeds of my ambition, and I yearned for the day I would return back to the mountains of my father's village and teach my people. My siblings and I attended Edwards Memorial, a missionary school, where my thirst for knowledge and a burning desire to be educated and to educate was fueled, not only by my teachers, but also by my mother, who had chosen teaching as her vocation in life. In 1885, my father began to attend night school. At the same time, he converted to Christianity and became a lay preacher at the local Presbyterian church. We became churchgoers, and the seed of another of my great callings, my evangelism, was planted. In 1891, my sister Katie and I joined the African Jubilee Choir. Our love of music and religion took us to England, where I learned about women's rights from Emmeline Pankhurst, and more importantly, the right to vote. Our choir did well, and we were invited to tour Canada and the States. I felt America could offer me access to the education I've been wanting all my life. And with the help of Bishop Turner from the African Methodist Church, I was accepted to Wilberforce University near Zania, Ohio. Wilberforce University was black-owned and managed and catered mainly for black students. The institution was aligned to the African Methodist Church that had its origins in the Free African Society that advocated for social equality for black people. While studying towards my Bachelor of Science, I witnessed incredible leadership and began to see a different future for myself, one in which I could not only teach my people, but one where I could lead them too. In 1903, two major milestones took place. I became the first black South African woman to graduate with a university degree, and I married the love of my life, Marshall. We returned to South Africa with the intention of making a difference and being instruments of change. For about a decade, we focused mainly on our evangelistic pursuits, and I participated in King Sabata Dalinyewo's court in the Transkei, a privilege unheard of for a woman. My husband and I started the South African Wilberforce Institution in Everton, an establishment that has survived both Marshall and myself. In 1912, we found ourselves in Bloemfontein. A group of like-minded people who wanted to change the world came together to form the African Native National. I became a strong proponent of changing the social and political situation of black women in South Africa, and used every opportunity I had to raise the profile of women's rights. Who would have thought that today you'd be learning about a young girl from rural Eastern Cape named Charlotte Maxeke? What made my story different from that of my sisters, my neighbors, or fellow students? A supportive parenting environment, a value-based upbringing and a Christian worldview, mentorship and access that would afford me opportunities within which I could represent, as well as win the respect of my fellow countrymen and women. In a time where many of my achievements were improbable, the impossible was made possible, and I was able to rise. I have always believed in the principle of, if you rise, bring someone with you. And this is our vision for the Charlotte Maxeke Institution. I have shared my story with you in the hope that it may inspire your buy-in and motivate your support of our vision. I pray that you'll be among the first of many who will join us in our endeavor to create opportunities for our daughters to lead and to shine. There are many among us who have begun to make their mark in history. I believe there are many more waiting to rise and for the opportunity to excel. My name is Charlotte Manya Makaike. I was the first black South African woman to graduate from university with a degree. My story does not end here.
My name is Brigelia Dombem Sopepam, and I am one of the first women to be the chairperson of an electoral commission. My story does not end here.
My name is Sibongile Rejoice Sambo. I am the first South African black woman to start an aviation company in the private jet space, providing helicopters and private jets. My story does not end here.
My name is Asnaf Mahapa. I'm the first black South African woman to acquire a commercial pilot license. My story does not end here.
My name is Dr. Musawenkosi Donia Salrombe. I'm the youngest female PhD graduate in Africa. My story does not end here.
My name is Riboni Bella Mudisha, and I am the first black woman to qualify as a PGA golf professional. My story does not end here.
My name is Zuleika Patel, and I am a black female activist at the forefront of decolonization within schools and black radical feminism movements within the country. My story does not end here.
My name is Michelle. I am 9 years old. I've published 2 books, and I'm the youngest author in Africa. My story does not end here.
These are the women that have rewritten history, and their stories do not end here. We always say they tried to bury them, but little did they know that they were seeds. Ladies and gentlemen, we're entering into the portraits of power, where power will be displayed. We have spoken about women, we've spoken about history, we've reflected about power. But there comes a time where applause must take center stage. And this is the moment, ladies and gentlemen, where we're going to be learning about more women across the lengths and breadths of the globe who have done phenomenal work. Trailblazers in their own rights, women who gave their voices, women who gave up their freedom so you and I can enjoy it today. Some gave up their careers so that we can live in a better world. They stood in moments when it was too dangerous to do so. They chose moments where their voices may have been silenced, but they chose to speak anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, as we're about to enter into this moment of reflection, we're going to be calling up the different representatives of the diplomatic missions to introduce the heroines that they will be celebrating today on behalf of their respective countries. And because South Africa is the host, we'll start with none other than the representative of South Africa, and that is the chairperson of the Charlotte Manye Makleke Institute, and that is Mr. Thulasizwe Makanya.
Good morning, Your Excellencies, our honorable ministers, our host today. We are here at the highest office of the land, and we appreciate the platform that we've been given by the presidency and our partnership that we have with the presidency. Students that were here, those are our special guests this morning that have done quite remarkable work producing these artworks. Family of Makleke, friends of Makleke Institute, associates, and also our special guest this morning. Greetings. I don't know, I was hoping that I won't be on the podium today because this is Women's Month, And I will think that sometimes women will outsource their power given. Hence, I'm here. But what can I do? The portraits of power, it is influenced by many things. Amongst them is what Kim said earlier on. But also, this year we're celebrating 70th anniversary of the Women's March. Historic moment when it comes to women defining and redefining their path, not for them, but also for future generations. Here I'm talking about Mayor Lillian Ngoyi. There is a family member here with us this morning. If maybe if we can rise and be seen and be acknowledged. Mayor Helen Joseph, Rahima Musa, Mayor Sophia Williams Debray, who is still alive. And a woman who was regarded as the mother of African freedom by her peers, Charlotte Maxeke. She was the only woman in the room when the African National Congress was formed as SANNC in 1912. She's a woman of first in many spheres of her life. First to graduate, first to lead the Women's March in 1913 against the past laws. Established and became a founding president of the Bantu Women's League, which many will say is a forerunner of the ANC Women's League. She also was the founding president of the NCAW, where she became the first president, and also where she presented her famous quote when she said, "This work is not for ourselves, kill the spirit of selves. Do not live above your people, but live with them. And if you can rise, bring someone with you." This is what guides us as CMMI. This is what also makes us also start this kind of a project, not to elevate Mayor Maxeke only, but to elevate many other women that deserve to be recognized by the world. The four women that led the march, 1956, 9th of August. And now that is our official Women's Day in this country. They took a conscious decision to redefine their path. An army of 20,000 women were led to this space. And high on the agenda was to dismantle the apartheid laws. And they shouted, "Wathinta abafazi! Wathinta abafazi!" And as I'm sitting down, because I think the program director is already standing, this is the beginning. Ours is to make sure that we preserve, we celebrate a number of women, and we encourage countries to come to us, engage us, to unearth or to highlight those who are not being celebrated so that they can always be in history books. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Wathinta abafazi! Wathinta imbokodo! Thank you very much. Honoring Australia will be His Excellency Tegan Brink. Let's please put our hands together. Her Excellency, apologies. Apologies, Excellency.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, Dumelang, Molweni, Sanibonani, Goeiemorgen, good morning. Congratulations to the Charlotte Maxeke Institute and to the Government of South Africa for this wonderful initiative. Through Portraits of Power, we celebrate remarkable women whose lives and legacies continue to inspire us. Today, Australia is proud to honour the late Shirley Colleen Smith, who was affectionately known in Australia as Mum Shirl. Now, unlike some of the extraordinary women recognised through this exhibition, Mum Shirl was not a head of state, neither a president nor a queen, yet she belongs here because power does not derive from position alone. It comes from influence. It comes from the lasting changes that you make in a community and the respect that you attract in that community. Now, Mum Shirl was a proud Wiradjuri woman from Cowra, which is west of Sydney, and she was born in 1928 at a time that neither women nor Aboriginal Australians enjoyed equal rights or opportunities. And despite these barriers, she became one of the most respected and influential community leaders. She believed that leadership was about service. And throughout her life, she supported Aboriginal Australians, giving them a place where they had nowhere to go and opening her home to children in need. Her activism in the 1960s and 70s established organisations that continue to make a difference today, including the Aboriginal Legal Service. She was a strong advocate for the rights of First Nations peoples, and she played a pivotal role in supporting Aboriginal Australians navigate the justice system and help rebuild their lives. Now, I would also like to warmly acknowledge Lunga Hafane, who is the talented and self-taught artist from Mamelodi here in Pretoria, whose portrait of Mum Shirl brings her legacy to life in a very, very vivid way. And unveiling this portrait here in the Union Buildings, a place of power, a place of transformation, is a special moment. It reflects the values that Australia and South Africa share, our commitment to build inclusive and just societies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Her Excellency. Representing Angola will be Ms. Egna de Sousa. Let's please put our hands together.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Ambassador John Chiosa, it's the honor to be here and participate in this inaugural Portátil Power of exhibition. An inspiration initiative of Charlotte Mashakenge. We celebrate the extraordinary achievement, and today Angola proud honor Deolinda Rodrigues, one of our nation heroines, whose life embodied courage, patriotism, leadership, and selfless service to our nation. She is born in 1939. She distinguished herself through her remarkable intellect and profound commitment to justice and human dignity. As an activist and freedom fighter, she devoted her life to Angola, struggled for our independence and to the liberation of our people. Behind her political contribution, Deolinda was a gifted writer whose diary and letters continues to inspire readers with their humanity, resilience, and hope. Her words remind us true leadership is grounded in courage and compassion, integrity and unscapable belief between future. In 1976, during the liberation struggle, she was killed. But as we honor Deolinda Rodrigues today, he also honored all the women of Angola whose courage, dedication, and resilience have contributed to build our nation and advancing peace, justice, and sustainability development. May the Portrait of Power exhibition continue to inspire dialogue, preserve our collective heritage, and encourage future generations to propose leadership, encourage windows and compassion. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Egner. Representing Brazil, His Excellency Benedito Filo. If we can please put our hands together.
Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished guests, it is my honor to participate in this inaugural Portraits of Power exhibition. I wish to congratulate the Charlotte Mania Macleke Institute for this initiative. Today, we proudly honor Marta Vieira da Silva, a Brazilian sporting icon whose life exemplifies perseverance, leadership, excellence, and service to society. Born in the village of Dois Riachos in the northeastern state of Alagoas, Marta overcame social and economic barriers to become one of the most celebrated football players in history. Widely known as the Queen of Football, she has transformed women's football through her extraordinary talent, determination, and commitment to excellence. Marta is a six-time FIFA World Player of the Year, Brazil's all-time leading scorer, the highest goal scorer in the history of the FIFA Women's World Cup, and the first football player, male or female, to score in 5 consecutive FIFA World Cups. Her achievements have inspired millions around the world and helped elevate the visibility, quality, and recognition of women's football on the global stage. In this context, it is an honor for me to mention that Brazil will host FIFA Women's World Cup in July 2027. Thank you. Beyond her sporting accomplishments, Marta has become a powerful advocate for gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls as a United Nations Women Goodwill Ambassador and a United States Sustainable Development Goals advocate. She has used her international platform to encourage inclusion, equal opportunities, and greater participation of girls and women in sports and society. Her legacy extends far beyond records and trophies. Marta's journey demonstrates how talent, resilience, and determination can overcome prejudice and adversity. She has opened doors for future generations of female athletes and continues to inspire young people to pursue their dreams with courage and confidence. As we celebrate her life today, we also celebrate the countless women whose contributions strengthen our communities, enrich our cultures, and advance equality, peace, and sustainable development across the world. On behalf of the people and government of Brazil, we extend our sincere appreciation to the Charlotte Mania Macleke Institute for creating this meaningful platform that promotes cultural diplomacy, international friendship, and recognition of women's extraordinary contributions to history and society. May the Portraits of Power exhibition continue to inspire dialogue, preserve our shared heritage, and encourage future generations to lead with courage, wisdom, and purpose. I thank you.
Thank you very much, His Excellency. Representing Colombia, Her Excellency Maria del Rosario Mina Rojas. If we can please put our hands together.
honorable ministers, excellencies, Charlotte McClelkey team, distinguished guests, artists, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me and for the Embassy of the Republic of Colombia to participate in the inaugural Portraits of Power exhibition, an initiative of the Charlotte McClelkey Institute to celebrate the remarkable achievements and enduring legacies of women from around the world. Today, we proudly honor Trismila Renteria, who I knew personally, whose life exemplifies courage, uncompromising leadership, and service to the most disadvantaged people. Trismila Renteria is remembered as a vehement Afro-Colombian educator, community leader, and human rights advocate who pioneered decolonial, ethno-centered education, advanced the rights of Afro-descendant and rural communities, championed women's leadership, and played a key role in securing the collective territorial, cultural, and educational rights of Afro-Colombian peoples through landmark legal and community initiatives. Her legacy continues to inspire generations of Black women, girls, and youth to lead with integrity, determination, and compassion. Through her vision and the commitment, she helped to shape not only the history of a diverse and inclusive Colombia, but also contribute to the broader sense and vision of human dignity. This tribute to her life today is also a tribute to the countless women whose tenacity had been instrumental to make this world more just and equal, creating a precedent for a legacy to fulfill. On behalf of the Black Afro-descendant People's Movement in Colombia and the Embassy, we extend our sincere appreciation to the Charlotte McClelkey Institute for creating this meaningful platform that promotes cultural diplomacy, international friendship, and the recognition of women's extraordinary contributions to history. I also want to thank the artist Toby Samuajo, hope I say it right, Toby, for gracefully translating a vision into this fine piece of art that you will see later. And thank you to the presidents for the hosting of us and this significant event. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Her Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, we've heard 5 stories, 5 women, 5 countries being honored. South Africa honored Mam Charlotte Manye Makleke, Lillian Ngoyi, Helen Joseph, Rahima Musa, and Sophia Williams de Bruyn. Australia, Mam Cheryl, Angola, Diolinda Rodriguez, Brazil, Marta Silva, Colombia, Trismila Renteria. As we proceed, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to call the representative of Ireland, His Excellency Austin Gormley. Let's please put our hands together.
Sanibonani, Dumalang, Tubela, Hoimora. Good morning. Excellencies, Mayor, Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honour for the Embassy of Ireland to participate in the inaugural Portraits of Power exhibition in this magnificent setting in Pretoria. And we're celebrating today the remarkable achievements and enduring legacies of women from around the world. And thank you to the Charlotte McClelkey Institute and the Presidency for the kind invitation and for the initiative. Today we proudly honour Mary Robinson, who's lived a life defined by an unwavering belief in human rights. As Ireland's first female president, serving from 1990 to 1997, President Robinson echoed aspirations for a more modern, more outlooking and progressive Ireland. Her presidency very much changed how we think of ourselves as a nation, and famously on the night of her election, she paid tribute to Mná na hÉireann, the Irish words for the women of Ireland, who she insisted said that they rocked the cradle instead of rocking, well, sorry, rather, she said that they, instead of rocking the cradle, rocked the system. That spirit lives on to this day. Long before her presidency, Mary Robinson championed equality, challenged discrimination, and fought for reforms and expanded civil rights. She demonstrated that leadership is measured not by power, but by the willingness to stand up for those whose voices needed to be heard. Yet it's her work beyond Ireland, particularly in Africa, that has arguably left a lasting legacy. As the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Mary Robinson placed human rights at the heart of international development, travelling extensively to advocate for justice, peace, and accountable governance. She worked tirelessly with African leaders, civil society, and communities to confront the drivers of poverty and conflict. It was particularly her work in Somalia that has inspired the painting, the contribution today, and I would like to thank in particular a wonderful artist, Banamanye Gugu, for the very fitting and beautiful depiction of Mrs. Robinson. During the conflict in Somalia during the early 1990s, she highlighted the severe human rights abuses affecting civilians, including women and children at that time. She emphasized the need for Somali women to be included in peace building and reconstruction, recognizing that women were disproportionately affected by conflict and essential to the rebuilding. More recently, she worked to highlight the disproportionate impact of climate change on vulnerable populations. Through initiatives such as the Mary Robinson Foundation on Climate Justice, her work also as a founding member of the Elders with the invitation of Madima, she continues to argue that those who contribute least to climate change should not bear its greatest burden. Her lifelong commitment to women's rights echoes the remarkable legacy of Charlotte McCleckey. Both women believe that progress of a nation depends upon empowerment of its women. Though they lived in different times and contexts and continents apart, they shared a conviction that justice, education, and equal opportunity are fundamental human rights. Today, as we celebrate Mary Robinson's extraordinary life and achievements, we recognize the enduring connection between Ireland and South Africa, and our connections more widely, inspired by leaders like Mary Robinson and Charlotte McCleckey. Their legacies continue to encourage us to build a more just, equal, and humane world for all. And that spirit is perfectly encapsulated in the Charlotte McCleckey Mary Robinson Chair of Irish Studies at the University of Western Cape. Indeed, Mary Robinson later this month will receive an honorary doctorate from the University of the Western Cape. The CMI, to mark the occasion, are organising a seminar on the 27th of August in Cape Town. And I am told that I have the authority to invite you all to that seminar celebrating women's empowerment on the 27th of August. So with this, I'd like to extend my sincere appreciation again to the Charlotte Manya McCleckey Institute for creating this very meaningful platform, and I hope that the Portraits of Power exhibition will inspire dialogue, help preserve their shared heritage, and encourage upcoming generations to embrace activism and public service. Gurav Mil Mahagrev, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, His Excellency. Representing Kenya, the Deputy High Commissioner, Sunye Ora. Let's please put our hands together.
Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, Ambassadors, High Commissioners, distinguished guests, on behalf of Kenya, the Kenya High Commission, it's a great honor to be here today to pay glowing tribute to the Nobel Prize laureate, Professor Wangari Maathai, one of Africa's, and indeed humanity's environment and human rights icon at this portrait of power exhibition. Born in a small village of central Kenya, Highlands, in April 1940, Professor Wangari Maathai, a biological scientist who had a PhD in veterinary anatomy, rose to the rank of a professor, chairperson at the Department of Veterinary Services, the Kenya's premier university, within a span of less than 10 years. I have been through the same university, the same faculty. Getting masters used to take most of the students more than 10 years. She became a professor within 10 years, within less than 10 years. Professor Wangari will have chosen the comfort of pride that comes with the field of her study and specialization. But just like Charlotte Manya, she chose a road less traveled, a road fraught with risks and challenges. In that road, there was hunger. In that road, there was imprisonment, and indeed she was imprisoned. In that road, there was physical harm.
Emilia Platerita, whose life exemplifies courage, leadership, and service to our nation. Emilia was born into a noble family in Vilnius. She was raised in an environment that valued education, culture, and civic responsibility. Inspired by the ideals of liberty.
Mr. Roberta. Representing Malawi, the CG, Mr. Maxwell Biwi. If we can please put our hands together.
The Program Director, Honorable Ministers in the Presidency, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we celebrate and honor Dr. Joyce Hilda Banda, former President of the Republic of Malawi. Who is Dr. Joyce Banda? Dr. Joyce Banda is the former president of the Republic of Malawi and a founder of the Joyce Banda Foundation International. Sorry, my laptop is misbehaving. It is a great honor for the High Commission of Malawi to participate in the inaugural Portraits of Power exhibition, an initiative of the Charlotte Manye Masheki Institute that celebrates the remarkable achievement and enduring legacies of women from around the world. Today, we proudly honor Dr. Joyce Banda, whose life exemplifies courage, leadership, and to our nation. Dr. Joyce Banda is remembered for her achievements in leadership, in advancing democracy, championing human rights, and promoting education, as well as serving the public office. Her legacy continues to inspire generations, and her legacy continues to inspire generations of women, girls, and lead with integrity, determination, and passion. Through her vision and commitment, she helped shape not only the history of Malawi, but also contributed to the broader advancement of humanity. As we celebrate her life today, we also celebrate the countless women whose contributions have strengthened and communities, enriched cultures, and advanced peace, justice, and sustainable development across the world. On behalf of the people and government of Malawi, we extend our sincere appreciation to the Charlotte Manya Masheke Institute for creating this meaningful platform that promotes cultural diplomacy, international friendship, and recognizing women's extraordinary contributions to history. May the Portraits of Power exhibition continue to inspire dialogue, preserve our shared heritage, and encourage future generations to pursue leadership with courage, wisdom, and purpose. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Biwi. Representing Mozambique, Her Excellency Maria Gustava, if we can please put our hands together.
Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Mozambique extends its deepest appreciation and gratitude to the Charlotte Makhebe Institute and the government of South Africa for this opportunity to be part of this meaningful event. We are grateful for this tribute to the life and legacy of Josina Machel, our national heroine, whose courage, vision, and unwavering commitment to liberation and justice continue to inspire generations in the country, across Africa, and across the world. Indeed, Josina Machel lived very short, 26 years only. But she dedicated her life to the liberation of our nation and to the advancement of women. She passionately believed that the emancipation of women was inseparable from the struggle for freedom, equality, and national development. She joined the Frelimo movement in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, and she fought side by side with the men while she was taking care of the children and also women education, and she was a member of the Mozambican Women's, was founded that time as a founder. Through her leadership, resilience, and compassion, she championed the rights of women and children, laying a solid foundation for their meaningful participation in building an independent Mozambique. Her remarkable achievements as a revolutionary, freedom fighter, mobilizer, educator, among others, remind us that true leadership is not only measured by the battles we fight, but also by the lives we transformed. Josina Machel's legacy lives in our every woman who leads with the confidence, every girl who pursues her education without fear, and every community that strives for equality, dignity, and opportunity for all. As we celebrate her enduring legacy, we also honor the countless women who continue to break barriers, uplift communities, and contribute to peace, prosperity, and sustainable development. Their achievements reflect the values that Josina Machel so passionately defended, such as courage, resilience, service, and hope. In tribute to her contribution for Mozambique women's emancipation, my country celebrates National Women's Day on the 7th of April in commemoration of her death and sacrifice. May Josina Machel's life continue to inspire us to build society where women and girls are empowered to realize their full potential, where equality is upheld as fundamental human right, and where generation inherits the world shaped by justice, unity, and shared prosperity. May Josina Machel's legacy and visions continue to guide us, and her courage continue to inspire us. I conclude by expressing our heartfelt appreciation to all women whose dedication continue to strengthen our nation and our continent. Aluta, continua. I thank you very much. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Aluta! Aluta! Thank you very much for reminding us, Excellencies, that the true measure of a woman's power is not how she rises, but how many lives changed because she rose. We heard more stories, and we're reminded that leadership is a responsibility to open doors, to make room on tables, and to ensure that we bring others along as we rise. Representing Namibia, Ms. Teresa Sipiho, let's please put our hands together.
Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor for me to present on behalf of the High Commissioner, Madam or Her Excellency Nangula Ifete, a tribute to Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, President of the Republic of Namibia. Today, we proudly honor one of Africa's remarkable women, Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, a freedom fighter, a diplomat, a stateswoman, and the first woman to serve as President of the Republic of Namibia. We pay tribute to an exceptional daughter of Namibia, a woman whose life embodies courage, resilience, humility, and unwavering dedication to the service of her nation. Her story is one of resilience, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment to her country. Born in Onamtai, a northern village in Namibia, she answered the call of the liberation struggle, and at just 14 years of age, she joined the Southwest Africa People's Organization, SWAPO, and soon became a leader in the SWAPO youth movement, courageously participating in the struggle against apartheid South Africa's occupation of Namibia. What began as a youthful activism evolved into a lifetime of dedicated public service spanning more than 57 uninterrupted years. With the attainment of Namibia's independence in 1990, Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah continued her lifelong commitment to public service, embarking on an illustrious career in government. As a member of the National Assembly since independence, she has served in several senior leadership positions, including Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Director General of Women Affairs in the Office of the President, Minister of Women Affairs and Child Welfare, Minister of Information and Broadcasting, Minister of Environment and Tourism, Deputy Prime Minister, and Minister of International Relations and Cooperation. Throughout these roles, she made significant contributions to shaping Namibia's foreign policy, strengthening environmental stewardship, advancing gender equality, promoting the empowerment of women and children, and championed policies that contributed to landmark reforms that strengthened the rights and protection of women and families. She continued to break barriers, and in 2017, she became the first woman elected vice president of SWAPO party. And in 2024, she again made history as SWAPO's first female presidential candidate. Her election as the first female president of the Republic of Namibia in 2025 stands as the culmination of decades of principled leadership, dedication, and service to her nation. Her leadership has earned continental and international recognition, including the African Political Leader of the Year and African Female Leader of the Year awards from African Leadership magazine, the Intergenerational Leadership Award at the 2024 NALAFEM Summit, recognition for thought leadership at the Namibia Sustainable Development Awards, and an honorary doctorate from the University of Dar es Salaam. Her leadership continues to inspire through words that have become synonymous with her vision for Namibia. She reminds her fellow citizens that we are too few to be poor, a powerful call for every Namibian to harness the country's abundant resources for inclusive prosperity. Equally profound is her reminder that we must not allow the pressure of those eating their harvest to make us eat our seeds. A timeless message encouraging patience, sustainability, and responsible stewardship for future generations. As we celebrate this remarkable woman, we recognize a leader who has devoted her life to the service of her people, a woman who broke barriers through perseverance rather than privilege, and a role model whose journey continues to inspire women and girls across Namibia, Africa, and the world. Her portrait stands not only as a reflection of personal achievement, but also as a symbol of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of women to shape the destiny of nations. On behalf of the people and government of Namibia, we extend our sincere appreciation to the Charlotte Manya Makreke Institute for creating this meaningful platform that promotes cultural diplomacy, international friendships, and the recognition of women's extraordinary contribution to history. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sipiwo. Representing Panama, His Excellency Rodrigo Chiari. Let's please put our hands together.
Honorable Madam Ministers of the Republic of South Africa, Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Embassy of the Republic of Panama, it's a profound honor to join the Charlotte Manya Maseke Institute in inaugurating the Portraits of Power exhibition, an initiative that celebrates the remarkable achievements and enduring legacies of women who have contributed significantly to the advancement of societies around the world. On this day, and at this historical setting, where 3 decades ago, Nelson Mandela was sworn as the first president of an inclusive South Africa, the Embassy of Panama in South Africa is privileged to acknowledge the inclusion of honor of our former president, Her Excellency Mireya Elisa Moscoso Rodriguez, as the first woman to hold the highest offices of our nation. Her life and service stand as a testament of perseverance, civic responsibility, and the transformative impact of women in public leadership. President Moscoso guided Panama and its people during a crucial moment of exceptional national significance. Under her administration, the country witnessed our renowned waterway to Panama sovereignty on 31st December 1999. This is a milestone that marked the beginning of a new era in our Republican history. This historic achievement continues to be safeguarded under the principles of permanent neutrality and in the spirit that Panama remains open to strengthening international partnerships with nations around the world, including the African ones, through adherence to the treaty concerning the permanent neutrality of the Panama Canal. It is worthwhile to acknowledge that under her presidential tenure, the first Panamanian diplomatic mission south of the Sahara was opened in Pretoria. I was honored to be the President Moscoso's choice for said task in July 2000. She's also remembered for her dedication to social development, her support for educational advancement, and her steadfast defense of democratic values at a time of notable regional challenges. Her administration emphasis on social inclusion and proximity to the citizen left a lasting imprint on Panama's public life. Beyond her achievements in office, Mireya Moscoso's legacy endures as a symbol of women's political participation and leadership. Her election became a truly historic breakthrough in gender representation at the highest levels of government, inspiring generations of women in Panama and beyond to pursue roles of influence and service. Today, as we honor Mireya Moscoso, within the Portraits of exhibition, we celebrate not only her legacy, but also the broader principle that women's leadership strengthens nations, enriches democracies, and advances humanity. Her late husband, His Excellency Arnulfo Arias Madrid, our 3-time president, was her mentor, and also a defender of women's rights, and under his mandate, the right to vote was given to women in Panama. The Embassy of the Republic of Panama wants to express its deep appreciation to the Charlotte Mania Maseki Institute and the gratitude of Mrs. Moscoso for this meaningful initiative which uplifts the story of women whose contributions continue to resonate across the world. I am the son of a woman. I am the husband of a woman. I am the father of a woman. I am a brother of a woman. I will soon be the grandfather of a woman. And I am the friend of many women, and I am the colleague of various women heads of mission. And their story doesn't end here.
Thank you very much, His Excellency. Representing Romania, Her Excellency Monica Cecilia Setaru. If we can please put our hands together.
I'm quite short. Let me talk. Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for the Embassy of Romania and for myself to participate in the inaugural Portraits of Power exhibition, an initiative of the Charlotte Mania Maxeke Institute that celebrates the remarkable achievements and enduring legacies of women from around the world. Today, we proudly honor the Queen Mary of Romania, whose life exemplifies dignity, courage, leadership, love and devotion for her country, and service to the Romanian nation. Born Princess Marie of Edinburgh at Eastwell Park, England, she was a granddaughter of both Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom and Tsar Alexander II of Russia. In 1893, at the age of 17, she married the crowned Prince Ferdinand of Romania, becoming Crown Princess and later, in 1914, Queen of Romania. Marie embraced her adopted country with remarkable devotion, learning its language, wearing its traditional dress, and championing its cause abroad. Her defining hour came during the First World War, after Romania entered the conflict in 1916. and suffered devastating defeats, she refused evacuation and remained with her people, serving as a Red Cross nurse in field hospitals ravaged by cholera and typhus. Her fearlessness at the front earned her the affectionate title Mother of the Wounded and made her a symbol of national endurance. Her greatest diplomatic triumph followed in 1919 when she traveled to the Paris Peace Conference to plead Romania's cause before Allied leaders. Combining charm, intelligence, and political instinct, she helped secure international recognition of the Union of Transylvania, Bessarabia, and Bukovina with the Old Kingdom, the great union that created modern Romania. In 1922, she and King Ferdinand were crowned at Alba Iulia as sovereigns of Greater Romania. Beyond politics, Marie was a prolific and talented writer, author of memoirs, fairy tales, and the acclaimed autobiography, The Story of My Life, as well as a patron of the arts who left her mark on residences such as Brandcastle and Baltic Palace. She died in 1938 at Peleș Castle, deeply mourned by her nation. In accordance with her wishes, her heart was placed in a special shrine, a final gesture of love for the country she had served so completely. As we celebrate her life today, we also celebrate the countless women whose contributions have strengthened our communities, enriched our cultures, and advanced peace, justice, and dignity across the world. I would like to extend my sincere appreciation and thanks to the Charlotte Mania Maxeke Institute for creating this meaningful platform that promotes the recognition of a lot of women's extraordinary contribution to the history and the development of the societies. I express my firm belief that the Portraits of Power exhibition will continue to inspire young people, women and men, leaders and ordinary people to gain a better understanding of the women which have enlightened the path in diverse fields. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Her Excellency. Representing Singapore, His Excellency High Commissioner Zaniel Arif Mantaha. Let's please put our hands together.
Thank you very much, Program Director. I hope everybody's doing fine now. It's just a few feet away, you've got the sunshine there. I'm so sorry that we are in the shadow. But in any case, Minister in the Presidency, the Honorable Kumbuzo Nchabeni, Minister in the Presidency responsible for women, youth, and persons with disabilities, the Honorable Sindiswe Chikunga, esteemed colleagues in the Diplomatic Corps, students, artists, ladies and gentlemen. Ndi Macheloni, Dumelang, Sanibonani, good morning. So thank you, CMMI, for including Singapore in its inaugural Portraits of Power exhibition to celebrate the remarkable achievements and enduring legacies of women from around the world. Today, in consultation with the Singapore Council of Women's Organizations, representing 60 women organizations and 600,000 women in Singapore, I am proud to present the candidacy or the nomination of Madam Chan Choi Siong, a leader of the pioneer generation of Singapore. It is truly poignant, ladies and gentlemen, that in just a few days, we will be commemorating the 70th anniversary of the historic Women's March of 1956 on the 9th of August. You strike a woman, you strike a rock, they chanted. I should mention that that date also has a very special significance for Singapore, for it is the 61st National Day of the Republic of Singapore. History often resembles or remembers those who held the highest office. But nations are also transformed by those who quietly changed what society believed was possible. Madam Chan Choi Seong was one such person. Born into a humble family in Singapore in 1931, Madam Chan understood from an early age the hardships faced by ordinary people. Those experiences shaped her lifelong commitment to improving the lives of workers, women, and families, and to ensuring that the benefits of nation building will be shared by all. At the time when politics was overwhelmingly a male domain, she broke barriers with courage, conviction, and determination. And as Singapore moved towards self-government and independence, she helped establish the People's Action Party's Women's League and became Singapore's first elected female Member of Parliament. Now, it is said that many people first attended Madam Chan's rally simply because it was unusual to see a woman addressing a political crowd. They left having discovered something much more important, not a curiosity, but a leader. She spoke in the language of ordinary Singaporeans, understood their struggles, and convinced them that they too had a stake in building the new Singapore. That ability to inspire confidence in others is perhaps her greatest legacy. Madam Chan demonstrated that leadership was defined not by gender, but by character, competence, and commitment. She championed equal pay, better educational and employment opportunities, and reforms to marriage laws. Significantly, she played a leading role in securing the passage of the Women's Charter in 1961, a landmark piece of legislation that strengthened the rights and dignity of women and transformed Singaporean society for generations to come. Madam Chan's contribution extended beyond advancing women's rights. She was part of the generation of leaders who laid the social foundations for Singapore's transformation from a developing port city into a prosperous, cohesive, and modern nation. Her conviction that nation building and women's empowerment must advance together helped shape the Singapore we know today. Her legacy reminds us that truly iconic leaders and those who create opportunities not only for their own generation, but for those that follow. Lastly, I wish to thank Chesley Mbire for her wonderful portrait of Madam Chan. As we admire the portrait later, I hope that we will be reminded that true power lies not in position, but in purpose, not in privilege, but in service, and not in personal ambition, but in leaving society better than one found it. That was Madam Chan's story, but her story will also not end here. Ndolibua, Kialeboha, Siabonga. Thank you.
Thank you very much, His Excellency. And the final honoree will be from Turkey, represented by Her Excellency Nelvana Darama. Let's please put our hands together.
Thank you, Program Director, Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear artists, art students. I'm one proud ambassador today among you, representing Turkish women, as we celebrate the legacy of remarkable women from all around the world and showcase and support the young artists. I congratulate Charlotte McClegg Institute for successfully bringing this initiative to life. It's been a great pleasure to take part in it. Today I wish to introduce Sabiha Gökçen, the first Turkish female aviator and world's first female fighter pilot. She was later officially recognized also by the Guinness Book of World Records. Sabiha Gökçen was a pioneer. She was encouraged by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk himself, founder of the Republic of Turkey, to pursue an education in aviation. She was the first. Atatürk believed that a modern and progressive society required the full participation and empowerment of women in all walks of life. He encouraged and supported women's empowerment, and under his reforms, Turkish women also gained the right to vote and stand for elections in the 1930s, much before than any other European nation. During those years, Sabiha Gökçen was one of those progressive women in the young Republic of Turkey who broke barriers with her courage and determination. Her achievements continue to inspire young women. It's a powerful reminder that success has no gender and women can accomplish anything when they are given the same opportunities as their male counterparts. Young generations today pursue their ambitions in any profession in confidence, and we are proud to say that, both in Turkey and I see from all around the world. I also would like to extend my sincere appreciation to our young artist, Asanda, whose portrait of Sabiha Gökçen reflects both her image and the pioneering spirit she embodied. Thank you, Asanda, for the care and effort you put into this beautiful work. My sincere congratulations go to all the talented artists for their work. Through your talent and effort, these inspiring stories will reach and encourage many others. Thank you all for making this event a reality.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Malibongwe! Malibongwe! Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. As we close this section of honoring trailblazers, may we please not leave these women safely contained within just those portraits. Let us not allow their names to be forgotten. Let us challenge power the way they challenged power. Let us challenge ourselves to remember the influence, to remember the sacrifices, and also to remember the impact they would have had on our lives. We thank each and every representative for speaking boldly and passionately about the women that are often forgotten. I'm going to request at this point, ladies and gentlemen, that we all rise on our feet as we welcome the keynote address that is going to be speaking on behalf of the presidency, Honorable Khumbudzo Chaveni. She is a distinguished South African leader whose career spans through various areas in public administration, economic development, digital transformation, communications, and strategic leadership. She has served as various ministers, small business development, as well as communications, and at this point has got the esteemed honor on serving on behalf of the President of the Republic of South Africa as Minister in the Presidency. Let's please put our hands together for Honorable Khumbudzo Silence Nchabeni. Over to you, Minister.
You may be seated. Thank you. Thank you, Program Director. You left my great-grandmother's name, Poppy. Good day. Sanbonani, Molo, Lochani, Dumelang, Absheni, Goeiemiddag. Bon dia. Initially, I thought I'll speak in Shivenda, but the ambassador of Singapore will follow me in all the details. Madam Program Director, Ms. Karabo Mohali, my colleague, Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga, Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, members of the Diplomatic Corps in general, our partners, the Charlotte Maxeke Institute and the family of our icon, and the other icons' families who are here, the chairperson of the South African State Theatre and your colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On the onset, allow me to extend the sincere apology of the Deputy President, His Excellency, Mr. Paul Sipokosha Mashatile, who wanted to join you on this occasion, but circumstances beyond his control left you settled with just me. It is a great honor to join you today for this great occasion at the Union Buildings on the verge of the 70th anniversary, more aptly, a commemoration of the historic 1956 Anti-Pass Laws Women's March. It is fitting that we are gathered here to celebrate the Portraits of Power project, which forms part of a series of legacy projects commemorating the 125th graduation anniversary of Mme Charlotte Makgomo Maxeke, a woman of remarkable firsts and enduring influence, a trailblazer in every sense. As the first black woman to graduate with a university degree in Southern Africa, we tend to limit her to be the first black woman to graduate in South Africa. But she's the first black woman to graduate with a degree in Southern Africa after obtaining her Bachelor of Science degree on the 20th of June, 1901, from Wilberforce University in Ohio, United States of America. Charlotte Manya Maxeke lit the path for women's rights and gender equality. As the only woman who was present when the South African Native National Congress, later known as the African National Congress, was formed in 1912, Charlotte Manya Maxeke decidedly asserted the need for women representation in the corridors of power in South Africa. She went on to become the founding president of two of the most important women-led institutions on the continent. In particular for us is the Bantu Women's League, which later evolved into the ANC Women's League in the 1940s. Through these platforms, she shaped not only the future of women, but the trajectory of our country, our continent, and indeed the world. It was the leadership of Mme. Charlotte Manya Maxeke that eventually led to the ANC, including women in its leadership. If you'll recall, the ANC in 1912 was formed by reverends, traditional leaders, and educated men. And though Charlotte Maxeke was there, they reduced her to a footnote in that history. But in a resilience, she refused to be reduced to a footnote. She also led some of the earliest organized resistance against injustices, including the first women protest and the first anti-pass laws march in this country before the 1956 Women's March. And she did that in Bloemfontein and in Wynberg. Her life reminds us that courage, conviction, and leadership can alter course of history. It is therefore most fitting that we gather here today at the Union Buildings, a place that stands not only as the seat of government of the Republic of South Africa, but as a powerful symbol of our democracy, our resilience, and national journey. This historic site, now recognized as by the UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, reflects both our shared past and our collective aspirations for the future. We gather here for an occasion that speaks of legacy, leadership, and the enduring power of human expression. Earlier this year, we gathered at this exact spot, in this exact coldness. It's just that there were more heaters to keep us warm. As we launched the Milestones of Freedom campaign under the theme, Honoring the Past, Delivering the Future. This campaign commemorates significant milestones in South Africa's struggle for freedom, with a commitment to deliver on the aspirations of our forebears. This year, the Milestone of Freedom commemorates the 70th anniversary of the 1956 Women's March, the 60th anniversary of the District 6 forced removals, where communities were destroyed to enforce racial spatial segregation, the 50th anniversary of the 1976 student uprisings in Soweto, where young people rose to protest against the forced introduction of Afrikaans as a medium of instruction as part of enforcing the inferior Bantu education as a way of keeping black people inferior. And lastly, the 30th anniversary since the adoption of South Africa's first democratic constitution that is celebrated the world over and aptly implemented in this country with the protection of our Constitutional Court. The 1956 Women's March would not have been possible if Charlotte Manya Maxeke had not led the mobilization and organization of women to fight for their rights. Ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate Portraits of Power, an exhibition that honors extraordinary women whose courage, leadership, vision, and talent have shaped our world. We have just listened to their individual stories and contributions to make the world a better place from their own countries, and living by the mantra of Charlotte Manya Maxeke by accepting that this work is not for oneself, and that we must kill the spirit of self, and if we can rise, bring someone with you. At the time when voices of women were often silenced, these women stood firm, speaking truth to power and laying the foundation for generations to come. And indeed, their stories did not end with them. Their legacies continue to resonate today, reminding us that true leadership is rooted in courage, service, and unwavering commitment to justice. Portraits of Power goes beyond celebration. It is a recognition that women's contributions transcend borders, cultures, and generations. Across the globe, women are at the forefront of leadership, diplomacy, innovation, and development. They are shaping policies, building communities, and driving progress in ways that are both transformative and enduring. Therefore, the presidency will continue to support this initiative and others like it because the story of humanity is incomplete without recognizing the invaluable contributions of women across all spheres of life. Yet, even as we celebrate these achievements, we must also acknowledge that the journey toward full equality is not yet complete. There remains work to be done to ensure that women everywhere in the world have equal access to opportunities, resources, platforms for leadership, and platforms for education. This is where the power of arts becomes especially important. Art has a unique ability to preserve our histories, to tell stories that might otherwise be forgotten, and to connect people across cultures and continents. Through exhibitions such as this, we are reminded that art is not only a reflection of society, but also a catalyst for change. It builds bridges where there are divides, it fosters dialogue where there is silence, and it inspires understanding where there is difference. In this way, Portraits of Power serves as both a cultural and a diplomatic platform. And who can question me for that? Because here are the diplomats sitting together with us. One that strengthens international understanding whilst celebrating the shared values that unite us. As South Africa, we remain firmly committed to advancing gender equality and the empowerment of women. The commitment is rooted in our Constitution and reflected in our policies, programs, and partnerships. We recognize that inclusive leadership is not optional. It is essential for sustainable development, social justice, and lasting peace. We also recognize that achieving this vision requires collaboration. It requires governments, the private sector, civil society, and the international community to work together to create environments where women can thrive, lead, and succeed. Therefore, let this exhibition be more than a moment of admiration. Let it be a call to action. Let us commit to supporting and elevating the voices of women in all spaces. Let us invest in their potential and remove the barriers that hinder their progress. Let us strengthen global partnerships that promote equality, dignity, and opportunity for all. In doing so, we not only honor the legacy of those who came before us, like Charlotte Maxeke and the other women who are being honored today, but we also do those to make sure that through this initiative and others like this, we are also paving the way for the celebration of future generations of women leaders. Program Director, allow me to express my sincere appreciation to the organizers, the artists, and all those who have made this exhibition possible, especially the Charlotte Manya Maxeke Institute for initiating this epoch-making project, and surely through their efforts, the legacies and stories of women will never be the same again, and they will never end with the women. Your work ensures that these powerful stories are seen, heard, and remembered. May Portraits of Power inspire reflection, spark meaningful dialogue, and remind us all of the extraordinary impact of women in shaping our world. Watinta wafazi. In this hallway, in this amphitheater, the women did not only gather, we memorialize them. If you go up the steps and go out under the amphitheater diapo, you'll hear the slogan, Watinta bafazi, Watinta umbokoto, uzokufa. You strike a woman, you strike a rock. I don't want to say it in case the platform is not proper. Ndodibuwa, na cancer, kyalebuwa, inkomu, ngiyabonga. Muito obrigado.
Thank you. Thank you very much to the Minister in the Presidency, Honorable Kumbudzo. Silence, Popi, in Chabeni. As she was reflecting, I want to read the words that are memorialized on the stairs of the union buildings. I quote, "We are women from every part of South Africa. We are women of every race. We come from the cities and the towns, from the reserves and the villages, as women united in our purpose to save the African woman from the degradation of passes. In the name of the women of South Africa, we say to you, each one of us, that we are opposed to the pass system." Indeed, watinta bafazi, watinti mbogodo. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to call on the Minister in the Presidency responsible for women, youth, and persons with disability. That is Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga. If we may please rise to honor the Minister in the Presidency, who herself is a seasoned South African leader whose career spans in different sectors: healthcare, transport, public administration, and social transformation. Minister Chikunga currently serves as the Minister in the Presidency responsible for women, youth, and persons with disability. Over to you, Minister.
You can be seated. Thank you very much. We can be seated. Thank you very much, our Program Director, Ms. Karabo Mohale, my small sister. She's not my younger sister, she's my small sister, and I'm her big sister. Minister Kumbuzo Nchabeni, Chairperson of Charlotte Manya Makleke Institute, Mr. Tula Sizwe Makanya, and Makleke family, Excellencies, ambassadors and heads of missions, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Program Director, allow me to begin by congratulating the Charlotte Manya Makleke Institute on the successful launch of Portraits of Power, a landmark exhibition in partnership with the Presidency that honors exceptional women from South Africa and across the world, whose leadership has transformed nations and inspired generations. Today marks a moment of great pride for all who have come to understand that the story of our nations is inseparable from the story of the women who built the nations. We thank the Foundation for being deliberate in documenting our history and heritage with dignity, and for doing so at the Union Buildings in this historic year of the 70th anniversary, that is the Platinum Jubilee of the 1976 Women's March, under the fitting national theme of Empowered Women, Empower Nations. We thank the Foundation and its partners for occupying a space that has for far too long been unoccupied. It has been disheartening to witness the dangerous vacuum in how our history has been documented and often misrepresented. For far too long, we have outsourced this space, and we are paying a hefty price for it. The media and creative space is not only central to the battle of ideas, it carries the very soul of a nation. Portrait of Power is therefore a timely transformative effort in honoring and in preserving the legacy of our founding mothers. Makleke and her generation understood that when you surrender knowledge production and dissemination to the oppressor, what is considered good becomes that which sustains the oppressor's domination position, and everything about the oppressed is presented as undesirable. We therefore thank the Foundation for elevating the name of Makleke, an under-celebrated shining example of African women's unlimited potential to excel in every sphere of life. Program Director, we must leave here with a call to action. Let South Africa, Africa and the world move from merely remembering women to building institutions that include women. Our responsibility is not only to honor the women who changed history, it is to ensure that the next generation of women have the power to define their own futures. A portrait on a wall is a beginning, not a destination. Women must take their rightful place in all areas where decisions are made and power is exercised. Access must be non-negotiable. We must connect our young women to education, financial support, networks and institutions that can turn ambition into influence and influence into impact. We must make intergenerational inclusion mandatory. Every woman who has climbed the ladder must become part of a building ladder for someone else, bringing someone along. We must build bridges for women to access all sectors of the economy. The women whose portraits are unveiled or we are unveiling today should not remain historical figures on walls. They must become symbols of hope and of access. Their stories must enter our classrooms, our universities, our communities, and our conversations with young women, and opportunities must be materially realized in their honor. We must demand institutional commitment, not symbolic commitments. It is whether our institutions themselves change, whether women gain access to capital, education, leadership, technology, markets, and decision-making power. Let us leave this room and this place with a personal responsibility of becoming the woman another woman needs. A woman another woman needed. Maybe now we need to ask a different question. Not who is the most successful woman, but who is creating the most successful women? So, Program Director, let me close by extending our gratitude to every hand that made today possible. Thank you, Program Director, Ms. Karabo Mohale, for guiding us through today's proceedings with grace and precision. Thank you to the Charlotte Manya Maxeke Institute, to Chairperson Mr. Thulasizwe Makhanya and Maxeke family, and to Ms. Kimberly Kungu for the vision and for the institutional labor that has brought portraits of power to life. Thank you to the Presidency for partnering with the CMMI in hosting this exhibition here at the Union Buildings, and to Honorable Minister Khumbudzo Ntshavheni for the keynote address that anchored today's substantive reflection. Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, the Presidency, to Ms. Lena Kosimanchi and the South African State Theatre, and to Ms. Konzi Zondi and Dr. Zanele Matsane of the Charlotte Maxeke Education Fund for reminding us that this exhibition is a shared undertaking of arts, culture, education, and the state. Thank you to our curator, Ms. Palisa Sutane, whose artistic sensibility carried us through the story of each of the women. And to the excellencies, ambassadors, high commissioners, and embassy representatives of every one of the participating countries, we appreciate your roles. And finally, thank you to the women whose portraits now hang on these walls. You did not ask to be remembered, you simply refused to be forgotten. Today, on behalf of a grateful nation and of an inspiring and inspired continent, we say, we know you, we honor you, we rise with you, and we commit to becoming you. If you can rise, we must bring someone with us. That is the assignment Charlotte Maxeke left for every one of us. History has never remembered leaders because they occupied an office. History remembers those who created possibilities for others. I am Sindisiwe Chikunga, the first woman ANC Regional Secretary of Gersibande, and my story does not end here. I thank you.
Thank you very much to the Honourable Minister in the Presidency responsible for women, youth and persons with disabilities for reminding us that these extraordinary women and heroines that we are celebrating today did not live just so that their portraits can hang on walls. They did not live just so that we could simply admire them. They lived so that something could be different, so that something inside us could change. They stood so that you and I can walk further. They spoke so that our voices today could be heard. They broke barriers so that someone else would not spend their entire life trying to prove that they are worth it and they deserve to be in the room that they are in. And that, ladies and gentlemen, places responsibility on each and every one of us. We are not merely beneficiaries of their courage. We are its custodians. Indeed, these are their names, and their stories do not end here. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I'm going to request our esteemed dignitaries, the ministers, excellencies, to please arise as they're going to be ushered to officially launch the Portraits of Power exhibition. Our protocol officers are here with us,